Welcome to this explainer on what's arguably the most extraordinary rescue operation of World War II. We're going to just tear right past the Hollywood myths today and really examine how one woman basically engineered a massive system to save thousands. 2,500. Okay, just let that verified number sink in for a second. That's the amount of Jewish children smuggled out of the Warsaw Ghetto by Irena Sendler. But here's the real puzzle. How on earth do you hide 2,500 kids without completely erasing who they are? Well, the amazing thing is, she didn't just save their lives. She actively preserved their heritage. She took their true names, their new fake identities, their locations, sealed them all up in terracotta jars, and literally buried them in an apple orchard so they could reclaim their true selves later. Inside the Warsaw Ghetto, the stakes. Just to put this into perspective, we're talking about 450,000 people crammed into barely 1.3 square miles, over 100,000 deaths in the first year alone, and if you even thought about helping, the penalty was death. Not just for you, but for your entire family. The risk was absolute.
The Rescue Network, a blueprint for extraction.
So how did she actually pull this off? Sendler absolutely leveraged the system. She got a pass as a social worker in 1940, spent a whole year quietly recruiting allies, and then hit Phase 3. She went from smuggling food in to smuggling human beings out.
Her team used literally every method you could imagine. We're talking babies hidden in trunks with secret air holes, older kids crawling through pitch-black sewage pipes, or sometimes just walking right out the front gates using forged baptism certificates.
Imagine the visceral terror of a 5-year-old stuck in a dark, hidden compartment. That sudden transition from suffocating darkness to seeing green trees again, that wasn't magic. It was calculated, coordinated courage.
Myths versus reality. Now, history often kind of romanticizes this idea of universal support, but reality was actually pretty bleak. As you can see, only a tiny 7% actively helped. Nearly a fifth actively collaborated. So Sendler was constantly having to hide these kids from the prying eyes of her own neighbors.
And here's a massive myth we need to bust. She didn't act alone. Not at all. She actually architected this highly organized, decentralized network of over 70 people. Forgers, doctors, liaisons. It was brilliant, because if one safe house fell, the rest of the network survived.
But despite all these logistical miracles, we can't ignore the incredibly harsh reality. While 85% survived to adulthood, a tragic 15% of the children still perished, either discovered in raids or from illness while in hiding. Arrest, torture, and escape.
In late 1943, the absolute worst happened. Sendler was arrested and endured brutal torture by the Gestapo, but she absolutely refused to break. And because she protected the network protected her. They pooled their resources, bribed a guard, falsified her execution records, and actually managed to break her out.
A blueprint for humanity.
So why does this all matter today? Well, these aren't just historical footnotes, guys. This is an active playbook. Things like compartmentalization, subverting official systems, extreme documentation, these are literally the exact same principles being used right now to evacuate civilians from modern war zones. Irena Sendler proved that ordinary people can architect the most extraordinary resistance, using nothing but a welfare pass and a few empty jars. So I'll leave you with this. Looking at the systems and resources around you right now, if you were faced with an impossible moral choice today, what would you do?